Welcome back, everybody. The WCS Winter Round of 8 continues here on Base Trade TV. Kicking things off now with a TvP spawning to the upper left side. We have the blue Terran player. It's Masa. Playing from the East Coast. His opponent coming from the West Coast. Best Coast. It's the red Ro8 Astrea. Now look, let's be real, guys. Astrea did not impress us yesterday. He had some weird builds, but his series versus Cham was pretty good at the end of the day. I don't know what his PvT is looking like right now, but Astrea is bottom part of the group, and he's not looking like he's going to get out of this necessarily alive, so it's kind of that situation of like pride and just showing the best games you can, even if it doesn't really matter. Oh, excuse me. No, I've confused Astrea with a different player. My bad. Astrea is 2 and 3 at the moment. Puck is actually the one I was thinking of. He's at 1 and 4, which, by the way, again, a little surprising because Puck's so good at the game. But Astrea is still in this to make it to the top 6. So is Masa. But Masa as well is tied 2 to 3 at the time of me broadcasting this. Now, look, if Masa has a loss here, or Astrea has a loss here, I believe they're both still sitting top 6 of the group. I think Probe is the only one that's guaranteed out at the moment. Puck, maybe if Masa loses, Astrea loses like the next 2 best of 3s and he can win 1 or win 2, he could get back into it. So he's not for sure eliminated yet. It will depend on the scores of these guys through their next 2 best of 3, this one and the next one. But top of the group right now, Scarlet. Underneath her, Time now tied with Neeb for 2nd place in the group. Actually, Time has a slightly better map score than Neeb, so Neeb would be 3rd in the group. Cham, Astrea, Masa, all tied for 4, 5, and 6. It's a tough spot to be in because your life is actually not guaranteed to take you to the next round. You have to get these wins. So this is not a match that doesn't matter. This is a match that actually matters quite a bit. Alright, Reaper gonna just poke around to be a little bit annoying. Grenade pops away. And it's weird seeing sentries. He was doing this versus oh gosh, what's her name? Scarlet, excuse me. I had a brain fart. Sorry, I've just been linked some really dumb video of a person who looks nothing like me. I don't understand why people think it's me, but okay. Anyways, just confirming, no. Online strategy, that's super not me. Hi, Haven in the chat, but there's a 3-minute delay, so you've probably already left the stream by the time I said this. Good to see you, though. Hope you're doing well. 3rd CC gets scouted. Masa can sometimes be a really greedy player. I'm not saying that 3rd CC against, like, in general is really greedy, but against Protoss it can be. There's some really powerful all-ins that Astrea could throw his way if that was going to be his game plan. But it's not. So he's going to go for his own 3rd base after seeing this. I think there's some freedom in this too, because you know your opponent's invested 400 minerals in that base and not in army units. So you're not going to have a bunch of Hellions run up on you. You're not going to have a bunch of Marines storm the front gates. But that's not entirely true. I guess the other part of this that he scouted was it was 3 racks, but there's no factory. There's no starport. If Masa goes for a blitz move, he might just catch Astrea like really off guard, because Masa, not right now, but in a few moments, should have significantly more units than Astrea. And what Astrea has is like sentries. It does not compute. Again, he was doing this yesterday. Actually, I'm really being overly critical. It's only like 3 sentries. I was just worried he's going to keep building more. The Robo Bay is also being pumped out pretty quick, so maybe a fast Colossus. If this is the case, the Colossus works out well. If Masa is going for like a big all-in push, but it looks like he's playing defensive and not aggressive with his 3 racks. Just getting a lot of the army out in the field. +1 starts up not too long ago. But the thing is about a Colossus, it's so freaking good at killing Marines. Like, unbelievably good. So put a couple of force fields in front of it so they can't chase it down. A couple of zealots in there to soak some shots. Maybe a disruptor with a Warp Prism. Doesn't matter. Anything that comes as a result of this Robo Bay will be pretty good against Marines, is my point. Who has the time game? Look, I don't know if this is accurate. in this round. Masa, Astrea. Wardy, I believe, is casting Time versus Puck. Zombie Grub should be casting Cham versus Probe. And the mainstream should be casting Neeb versus Scarlet. Those are the current games. We don't know what the next round of games are, so I don't know what best of 3 is coming up next. At the moment, it's looking like I'll be casting Astrea versus Time. But if the mainstream takes that, then I'll have a different match. So I don't know what's coming up next. We'll find out after this best of 3. I'll try and direct you guys around the best I can. But for the most part, hey, you're watching Base Trade. Enjoy it. Got some good games here. Now, I'm really curious about Masa's move. This really is going to be a big Marine blitz. And he scouted the Robo Bay, so he knows that there's going to be either Colossus or Disruptors waiting for him. Both of which, again, particularly good against Marines. But if he can split his opponent's army apart, if the Colossus isn't properly guarded, it's dropping the main base while he fakes out an attack. Like, there are ways to use this because he has so many units to use. It's more than just an A move into a big fight, direct strike style. Third base is set up one way or the other. A second factory. Wait, what? What is this production structure? Is he going 3... You've been building 3 tanks at a time? Is that the plan? I'm Cyclones, maybe? 3 factories. This fast versus Protoss. This is Masa with a very unique build. I can't say that I've seen players do this before. Double drops come in, but his cannon's waiting for him. He can actually kill the cannons with the Marines. Because he's got stim, but Warpins compared in with this. I don't know if it's something he wants to dedicate to too much. A little bit awkward as everything takes a little bit of damage, but not a whole hell of a lot dies. Well, I take that back. Actually, 10 probes come down. 12 probes, 13 on the way out. Colossus cleans up. His cannon's on the edge of the bay. Okay, so Masa is playing weird, but so is Astrea. I like this. I wish more Protoss players would invest in static defense, but a lot of the time, you can't afford it. I mean, this is 300 minerals plus the 150 that just died. This is another, like, ton of minerals. It's a big investment. It means Astrea has to kind of play turtley because he won't have units to actually move out on the map with. And his tanks, by the way. He's just building a ton of freaking tanks, by the way. I can't... I'm so... Oh. His tanks are stuck. Oh, that's unfortunate. His Sim City has worked against him quite poorly here. I believe they're still stuck due to this barracks. Can't actually get out of his base right now. Oh my god, if Masa dies to something because of this, I'm just gonna be face palming so hard. This is gonna be so embarrassing. So, that dude Zoot in the chat says, if Masa loses this and Puck wins his next games, then there's a chance for Puck to redeem himself. This is why I hate round robin. It's so confusing to keep track of. I really don't think it's viewer friendly. And I don't enjoy trying to explain it when I properly, myself, don't understand it. So I'm just going to cast the games, and we're just going to look at the results page when it's all said and done. Because trying to predict it at this point is a little bit rough. But if that ends up being the case, hey, cool beans. I'm still trying to get over this tank count. Tanks are going to outrange these Colossus really hardcore, giving the Marines a little bit of value back, I guess. And that's a lot of tanks. 3 factory production is wild. I didn't even think he could afford it, to be honest, but okay, sets up the tanks. Focus fire on that Colossus, almost one-shots it. Jesus. There's a couple disruptors in play, too. He's got to be careful with his positioning, so he's leapfrogging forward here very slowly. This takes away the power of a lot of these tanks, but still range is his biggest asset when trying to take on this fight. I don't know if you noticed about this cluster of units here. Astrea's either got to recall that or he's going to try and create a sandwich with it. Because while tanks are great, one thing they don't do well in is shooting in 2 different directions. So if Astrea can't create a sandwich move with this, awesome. But oh, he was just revealed by that medevac. Yes, it cost the medevac for Masa, but now he knows what's going on. Tries to back away, but not in time. Zealots, unfortunately, are so good they kill most of the Marines. A lot of these tanks are going to go down without getting the trades they want to make this worthwhile. Drop of the third base, though. Oh, hell yeah. 16 probes for Astrea go down in, well, it's going to be 20. Close to it, at least. Gonna kill the cannon. Backs away. Zealots can clean up the rest of the tanks. Okay, so this was costly for Masa. This was not a cost-efficient fight, but he just destroyed the worker count of his opponent. Astrea might be on 4 Nexus, but he's also on like 20, almost 30 less workers than his opponent. He grabs the warp prism up here. That's going to be nice if he actually gets the kill. Weakening it up, the missile turret should be able to finish it off. Actually not if it goes to the main. There's nothing in the main defending it. Tanks are set up defensively. Pre-siege is always good. Grabs the front line. Without that, nothing to really protect the Colossus, so some Marauders just stim on top of it. Big warp into the main. Couple of Zealots. I say big and they say couple, right? So, kill that warp prism to really seal the deal here. Continues to leave his tank sieged up here is important. If he had moved that army, he would have lost his defensive spot. But he'll hold on to that 4th base pretty nicely at that. The drop down here to the south. Ooh, that's going to be a Nexus snipe, possibly? I don't know if he'll go for the workers or if he'll go for the Nexus. Goes for the probes instead. Not a bad choice. Not forget, he already gutted a bunch of them earlier. Recall comes in for the army, so there might not be an escape. He does target fire down the Colossus, though. He gets 1, he gets 2, he almost gets 3. And he gets the medevacs out alive. Oh, I said that with a question mark, but it's a statement now. 3 health on that medevac. Both of them live. Okay, that recall, I don't know if that helped or hurt Astrea, to be honest. Losing 2 Colossus like that's pretty nasty. But he's focusing a lot now on disruptors. He's eventually getting to Storm. His Templar Archives finishing up. Gonna add some Archons to the mix too. All right. Not so bad. He built double sensor. Why did you build double sensor? This is so expensive. This sensor tower costs a lot of gas. Like, you built 2 of them in the same spot. Ah, that looks so stupid on the minimap. It's like a blurry right there. All right, Marauder's eating some dirt. Is he still using all 3 factories? Yeah, he's still got 3 tech labs on him. He's hurting on money. He's hurting on gas, more importantly. He's just pumped a lot into upgrades, so I think that factory production will be stalled out for a little bit. But I love the idea of 3 tanks at a time. I really do. But even with 3 tanks at a time, there's still just not a lot of tanks, right? 8 dead, 7 in play? It just feels like there'd be more with the emphasis on that 3rd one, but... Alright, Zealot's getting a kill possible in the command center because Masa's really late to repair it. He's not even repairing it. The command center actually dies. Should not have happened. But he's focused down here to the south, and maybe this will be worthwhile. If he snipes that Nexus and gets a good army fight for it. Tanks do set up. Stalkers blink into the tanks, but they also have means they blink into the Marauders. Not a good move. And of course, you can't easily walk away from tanks. They'll be able to fire away from 13 yards. So this fight's not over for Masa. Trades out not badly. There's some Templar out, but they don't have Storm, and they don't have energy. They just straight up... Oh, okay, Storm's completed. They'll just need a little bit more energy. Picks up in the medevacs to dodge the disruptor shots. It's actually a really clever way to deal with it. Nexus is going to die though, so hey, that's tit for tat on what happened on the other side of the map. But the difference is Masa can always float his main over for that 5th base if he really needs it. Astrea cannot do that with these Nexus. Probe still misrallied around. Oh, he's going to see those Zealots and back away. Try to at least. Looks like this attack in the top side set up when this goes on, so Masa is ultimately going to lose this fight, sacrifice these units, but they clear the way for a small run by up here to the top side. Now, I'm not sure what this is going to target. I'm going to assume probes. I mean, it's kind of a suicide squad of units. There's not much health left on these guys anyway, so more dead workers. What's that bring the grand total up to now? 56 probes have been killed by Masa over the course of this game. Yikes! This has actually been a pretty wild game, all things considered. I didn't think the Colossus would be so durable after the first ones went down, but hey, you know what? Keeps on chugging along. Finally got to Storm. Could be a lot more reliable here versus the Bio. But there's going to be a combination ghosts and tanks. And that's where this gets kind of interesting for me. Both have got the range and the EMPs to deal with the Templar before they can really get close to the Bio army, as long as he's playing close to the best. In this case, the best is the tanks. Another base going to set up as he floats on over. The Marines down here at the south going to see a small Zealot run by. That planetary dying, well, command center building into a planetary, that really set Masa back actually quite a bit. And it took him a bit of time to recover economically for it, but he's just, ever since he did, man, he's been good to go. He's got SCVs, he's got mules, he's been killing so many probes of his opponents, so the income advantage totally favors the Terran, 100%. And Masa's resources lost makes this game look worse, but it's kind of like when we saw Scarlet earlier. And, oh, the EMPs grab everything in the army! No Storms in those Templar. The Colossus missing that too. Disruptor gets an okay shot. Okay, I said no Storms. Looks like there's a couple of Storms, but not good enough Storms is my point. Tanks blow it away. Disruptor gets picked off. This Colossus gets finished by the Marauders. They got no help. Picks up in the medevac and keeps him alive. Masa's micro is so impressive. While this goes on, there's a Zealot run by with some Archon action to the top right. Planetary should hold, I think. I really believe the planetary should hold that. It's one stalker. What a nuisance. As long as you repairs it, at least. If you repairs it, though, then there's storms. I think that's kind of what Astrea is banking on here. So kind of cool move in that regard. Planetary will not hold now. Oh, wait, hang on. So Mississippi's lit? No. Okay, still goes down. Pushing down into this base. Another EMP lands. Looks like the Zealots were stripped off of their shields. This couple Colossus still standing, but not many. And these tanks, as soon as the Templar land, they're getting blasted. So one of the storms gets taken out. The other one does go off. Zealots are pretty good against most of what Masa has here. If there were enough Zealots to blitz the tanks, it could, but I think there's just too much supply now. Masa's covered. And the thing is, I think he went for tank upgrades this game too, so he's sitting on +2 for the tanks on top of everything else. So they're not just hitting for nothing. There's another EMP lands on most of the Zealots. Tanks take a long time to siege up, so the Zealots actually clear out the bio, and now they're in the dead zone of the tanks. It's a little awkward. Liberator set up on top of this. Friendly fire going to help kill tank-on-tank action, so Zealots actually work out freaking good here, but Astrea is still down on 31 army supply. No recovery, no chances. GG's. Masa takes game number 1. Welcome back, StarCraft fans. It's game 2. So we continue on here with this best of 3. Spawning to the top left side. He's up 1 game at the moment. We got the blue Terran player, Masa. Triple checking that I'm not muted. Okay, good. He's proxying. He's going to the bottom right. Not sure if he'll be prepared for said proxy or not. It's going to be the red Protoss Astrea. Now, if Masa does this, there's a couple of ways you can do it. Gas is going to come down soon. It's going to be a Reaper to start with, minimum. But the real question is the follow-up. Sometimes it's just the Reaper. That's it. The end. That's all it is, and you get about 4 probe kills and just enjoy some scouting. On the other hand, there's the committed version, where you actually end up building your factory down here, and then your starport down here, and even a supply depot in some cases. I don't know what version Masa's planning to do, but he does go for double gas, so he's thinking about a factory follow-up. Just, again, whether it's on the other side of the field or not. I see Tom in chat. Hey, Tom. Hope you're having a good day, buddy. All right, so we're going to watch that Reaper pop out. Astrea's looking for something. He's worried that something is amiss. Now, this is just coming out of blind paranoia because he hasn't seen the SCV come into his base yet. Masa tries to fake the path with the SCV. That was kind of clever. If he had approached from the southern ramp, Astrea would have known immediately what was going on. But he went around to make it look like it had rallied from his base. So I'm not sure how suspicious Astrea will be, but he is pushing out that Zealot. I really think somehow he knows it's a proxy. Or he's taking the gamble. Oh, he goes for cancel. Oh, he's misread what happened. That SCV scout from Masa just mind gamed the shit out of Astrea. Because that Zealot comes out, and it soaks the shots from the Reaper, and it saves the probes in a lot of cases. As I said, though, with a proxy Reaper, you should, most cases, get usually 4 probes in a good battle. But some micro from Astrea trying to keep these back. Reaper a little bit low. There's a sentry out, funny enough. It's enough to scare the Reaper, but a second one comes out and they can kill the sentry. Factory comes up at home. Probably a fast starport to finish that up, and I gotta imagine Cloak Banshee's gotta be on the table. That's it's a tech lab. Maybe it's a Cyclone. We'll find out. Masa, though, with double Reapers looking for some damage. Oh, that force field's gonna keep him in place. They're dead. Whoa, wait, the grenade saves him. Hoppity dippity zippity doo. He gets the Reapers out alive. Third one on the way. I don't know about this weird investment in Reapers, but I guess the logic is they can soak shots for the Cyclone. Masa says that was not intentional. I know that wasn't intentional. There's not a person in the world who sees that and goes, oh man, he planned for that. But it was cool nonetheless. The 3 Reapers come in. They still can't do too much here. If the Stalker and Sentry's out of position, maybe get some kills. Goes for the Sentry, actually. Loses it. No, he doesn't lose the Reaper. He's a god. He's actually a god. A greedy one as he went for that probe on the ramp. But, oh, 3 Reapers survive. And this is going to be paired up now with the Cyclone. Now, look, whether it's a single auto attack from the Reaper, the grenade to throw a unit away, or just soaking the damage so the Cyclone doesn't, as it's kind of a bit of a glass cannon. I feel like Masa should be able to kill one of these Stalkers with relative ease, and then the Reapers go to the mineral lines and kill the probes. That's where the barracks high ground vision is going to help out a ton. There's an Immortal coming out, though, so that Cyclone can't take any hits. Yeah, it's already dead on arrival. Feels bad. Reapers go down. All right. This was a cool response out of Astrea. I think cool, not a great response, because he had to keep a real cool head about this, or he would have just lost out super hardcore. We got some sub action going on, though. Big love, guys. Sorry I keep missing out on this. I'll show you out here in just a hot second. I got to bring up my list. Watch a couple more probes. Try to go down. This investment, I don't know if this is worth it. Does end up getting 8 probes in total over the course of this, versus what is the normal, like, 3 to 4. But he's so far behind in workers that his command center is so much later. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a Banshee as predicted following that up. We had France just now. Thank you for your underpants. 6 months. Says, thanks for the content, Rifkin. Well, thank you for subbing and supporting it. Shark Dog 58, thank you for the 32 months. No message, but big love nonetheless. Got 300 bits from Mount Everest stand. That was that was during the commercial break. I responded to him in chat. But thank you for the 300 bits. I never said it out loud. Bunker's not done. That's a problem. This one tank, I don't know if it can tango with these stalkers. Set up on the high ground, maybe. But hey, there's a warp prism that can help this out. Just drop on top of the tank. Yeah, realizing this quickly, Masa unsieges it. Unsiege the tank doesn't do too bad of damage. Ooh, Banshee's gonna certainly secure the hold here. If the stalkers come out to shoot the Banshee, then the tank can shoot the stalkers, so that'll work out nicely for Masa. What a wild game. I'm not gonna pretend like this is an amazing game, but this has certainly been a wild game. Astrea's committed. He just warped in some more units. I'm pretty sure the Banshee just holds this, even if it's not for the tanks. I guess the Immortal's going to be a little annoying, but the Stalkers have been dealt with. Viking comes out for the Warp Prism, so recall! Oh, he goes for the recall! That was super clever. So he saves the Immortal. Who cares so much about the Warp Prism? It's only minerals, but there should be a pretty swift counterattack, I'd imagine. Vikings here. He starts Cloak. I feel like this Cloak starts up so late. I mean, this has been a pretty micro-intense game. Accidental micro with the Reapers and that force field, then the Warp Prism over here on the other side of the map, the recall. I mean, that Warp Prism I think dies in 2 more shots. Well, actually probably 1 more because there's a Marine helping with it too. Like, that was so clutch. But Cloak, even if it was done, there are observers out, so hey, that won't get much done, sadly. I still think Masa is sitting on 3 CCs. Astrea's just put down his 3rd Nexus. It's about halfway done. If he gets this command center transferred over, he's going to have a really great mining situation to work from, despite being behind the workers the way he was. But his composition is going to be weak, because as he follows it up with Bio, Stim's only just begun at the 7-minute mark. There's combat shells going to be even later than that. I think Masa can defend against an attack, so this isn't so worrying, but I don't think he can attack, which is the problem. That's what he really wanted to do. He tried to get aggressive, and like I said, Masa's a player who likes to be aggressive when he gets the opportunity. Alright, knocking down the rocks, open up another pathway to walk around if he needs to. I missed this sub, but hey, that's just what I do. Large car! Not a small car, a large car. Thank you for the 7-month resub. Welcome back from your deathbed. Oh, you've got no idea, man. Like, that was hell for me. I know there's people who've got it worse than me in the world, but that was like the worst thing ever. Being in the hospital for like 3 days, no Wi-Fi, nothing to read, nothing to do. You just like stare at the ceiling, count the seconds, hear other people be sick. Although there was actually, you know what? I forgot about this until just this moment for some reason. There was one interaction in the hospital that I found particularly hilarious. Now look, I live in Canada, it's free healthcare. It doesn't cost like a ton of money, an arm and a leg to go to the hospital, right? So I'm sitting there in this bed, it's like my 2nd day in the hospital, and in the, I don't want to call it like a room, but you know, they put a curtain between the beds. In the bed next to me, on the other side of the curtain, was this rich guy. And I know he's rich because 3 doctors came in the second he sat down to thank him for his contribution, as I guess he donated tons of money to help build one of the wings of the hospital. And I was like, I could barely get a cup of water. And I watched this guy get like 1st-class service. And I'm like, damn, it's nice to be rich. I want to be that rich one day. But that was the only interesting thing that happened in like 3 days of that hospital. Every other moment was me. I was literally counting like the specks on the ceiling. It was just so boring. No Wi-Fi, no nothing. I asked for a magazine and they gave me a Chinese one. Like, I live in Vancouver. It's just what it is. Anyways, personal stories aside, big attack comes in. Anti-armor hits the Zealots. If the Marines can get over there for the fight, they'll shred the Zealots. Well, the Zealots are going to come to them. Storm's going to be dodged out here. Well, they get some good damage done, but not enough. But the Zealots he realizes just how weak these are. How frail and vulnerable. Look, the Zealots are normally super durable. They're falling over like it's nothing. Anti-armor is so good when you can pull this off. I don't think this concussive shell, so that Immortal's not going to be slowed. The Archon gets targeted down. The Immortal's not quite finished yet. He's going to hold against the Stalkers. 49 army supply with +1. There's armor for Astrea, but it's just not the same. Marauders get that better benefit from this. Third base is secured, and Astrea's attack falls apart. You know, if there's like a Warp Prism going on, or even just a drop-off of Zealots, that could have been really fantastic, but yeah, that straight-on attack. It looked good initially, but that anti-armor missile shut that down super hardcore. Blade SE2, thank you for the brand new sub. Welcome to the channel. Enjoy not having ads play, as you are now a sub, and that's one of our cool perks I like to advertise. Oh, he's going to catch one of the Templars. They try to merge into an Archon. That was a nice move. Big deny on Astrea. Looks like there's an attack up here to the top side. Some Zealots get in and kill some SCVs. A little bit of a feels bad man situation. He actually hasn't dealt with the Zealot. He had pulled the workers. I think he thought he dealt with it, but it's not like Lings. That Zealot's going to take time. He's going to kill like 12 workers or something with it. Anti-armor's going to get a good shot on the Zealots. Continued warp-ins from the top right pylon are going to just continue to be a nuisance here at the third base. 17 SCVs die, but Masa's army is still the one putting the pressure on to Astrea, not the other way around. Like, that harassment's not been too problematic yet. He's pulling back, but to a really large bio army. The tanks go down immediately, but they take some of the shots from the Zealots. Anti-armor does wear off. Storm's going to slap with the base. Hit those Marines pretty dang hard. Base is reset up, though. New base set up down here to the left side. Masa on 4 now. That's actually going to be really good for production if he makes it a planetary. It always to turn to an orbital. They'll stop Zealot run by, so... Alright, that works. Ooh, Storms do eat up the front line, but they don't do anything to the Liberators. Stalkers come in, sacrifice themselves for the Liberators, but the Marauders wrap around the backside. Now they've got concussive shells. Those Immortals are slowed inside the Liberation Zone, so they get a few more shots off. Astrea's army falls apart. Masa is going to easily take down this third. There's just nothing left to fight. The Zealots freshly warped in, charged to the front line, but he had used some warp-ins on the other side of the field, so he doesn't have enough units at home. And with the mineral lines here, it's not going to cut it. GG's, get called. Astrea takes a loss in a series that didn't really matter. Feels bad, man. But Masa will be your victor, 2-0. And this is actually good for Masa. As I had mentioned before, I'm pretty sure Astrea is not in too much danger of getting out of the group, but it's about placement. So that's why I say it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does. It does. Don't misunderstand me. I'm wrong. But at the moment, looking at the updates, I don't know if this is going to be fully up to date or not. Looks like Probe is officially out, which kind of sucks. I think I have to cast Probe next. That sucks, man. Feel bad, Probe. I love Probe, too. I think Probe's actually quite good. That's a bummer. But as we said before, Puck has to hope Masa loses. So Masa not losing screws over Puck. I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm almost positive that guarantees Puck's going to be stuck in 7th. So Astrea, no matter what his map score is just going to be playing around for seeding now, I believe. He should finish top 6. But hey, round robin's confusing and stupid, so I don't know. Keep an update on Liquipedia yourselves, I guess. You can type ! brackets in the chat to get that link. And yeah, looks like I'll be casting Masa versus Probe. Mainstream's going to do Astrea versus Time. Zombie Grub's going to do Neeb versus Puck. And Wardy is going to do Cham versus Scarlet. Ooh, I would have loved that one. But okay, we got Masa versus Probe. Best of luck to Probe to show some pride, I guess. Maybe attempt to knock Masa down a peg, but yeah, Probe's already out, so he could phone this one in, or he could try and just show people he's made of something. I don't know. Good luck to Probe. I see you in Twitch chat, by the way. I just seen you there. Hey, buddy. I don't know if you're still listening. 3-minute delay and all that, but yeah, we'll be back with Probe versus Masa final best of 3 of the cast. See you guys in a bit.